A few weeks ago we compared the new Manchester United 23-24 home shirt with 90s versions. This week we're going to take a look at the new, quirky Manchester United green and white striped away shirt and also compare it against some of the 90s versions. The last time Man United had a striped away shirt was this, the mid-90s blue and white striped version. But before we take a look at that and compare it with the new one, let's have a closer look at that green and white beauty. Let's go. Right then guys, so this arrived this morning via the postman. I ordered it Monday, express delivery, so it took like 2 days. Apologies for being in this room again, temporarily. We're in here. Not that it matters because there we go, look at that. In long sleeves as well. I've got the home in short sleeves obviously. I thought I've got to go long sleeve for the away. Look at that absolute beauty. I know it's caused some controversy online. Some people really hate it. It genuinely is, I know it's a cliche, a Marmite top. I love Marmite and I love this. Take away the badge and the sponsor, it's kind of just like a stylish jumper you'd wear out and about, which coincidentally might be the case because tonight I'm off for an all-you-can-eat Indian buffet and I may well sport this Mason Mount style with a pair of chinos. I've not gone for any player on the back. As I mentioned in the last video on the home shirt review, I like to get mine printed at Old Trafford on match day. I'm unsure as to who I'm going to get on the back, but there we go, a nice space for the printing on the back. We've got some really nice material. It looked quite thick on the pictures, but it is nice and thin. I'm going to spin the camera around and do some close-ups on this shirt for you right now. Let's go. So again, apologies for the mess. So let's have a close-up of the United badge. That is one thing I perhaps preferred with last season's kits, was the fact that the badge was in a shield. I'll just grab last season's home strip. As I'm talking about right here, I really liked the shield they had on the home and the away last season. Not quite got that this season, but I know they have to change it up. I do prefer the Adidas logo without Adidas written on it. Minor details though guys. A lot of people are saying the team viewer this season is too big. I mean, it's not like overly big. Before it was kind of written in one stretch, so it depends how you look at it. It's not an ugly sponsor though. It's clean, it blends in with the shirt. I mean, that doesn't even look white. It looks kind of like an off-white, like these stripes are. And if you watch some of United's videos on Instagram about this shirt, this is very much inspired by Manchester, you know, through the buildings. Apparently there's lots of like dark green should I say, framed windows, the red brick and stuff. So the colour scheme is very much, according to the video, a Manchester thing. But it's more so influenced by the fact that this was actually similar to the original away shirt they had as Manchester United. I'm not talking about Newton Heath. They had green and white stripes, I believe, from like 1902 to possibly like 1905, around that time. So I was actually at the museum a few weeks ago. I'll have to dig out some of the footage to see if that is indeed the case. But it's very much a throwback. But we're used to throwbacks to like the mid-90s, like that grey one over there. Not quite over 100 years ago, but still, you know, they're running out of ideas. They create new shirts every year, so it's definitely nice and it's definitely different. As I mentioned it earlier on, the last time they had stripes was the blue and white one, and we're going to put that against this one in a moment. But it's normally, you know, a plain black design. It's normally like a blue design, something like that, or a very minimal white design as they had last season. Where's the shirt? So that's last season's away shirt. So if you look at a very simple plain design, which might well be the case for the third shirt this year, again, that shield design's really nice. For me, as much as that's a nice shirt, it's just a little bit plain. I like my away shirts to be a bit jazzier. I do feel that normally Arsenal have the edge on us when it comes to creativity, especially with Adidas, and this definitely doesn't let us down. So let me just turn that over. So can I just state as well, this is the replica, not the authentic version. I just begrudge paying that extra bit. There's nothing wrong for me with the replica versions. We've got a nice clean sponsor on the arms. I know it's got to be done nowadays, but I did prefer double badges as opposed to just the one. But that's just the way, the way things have gone. It could be worse. Could be like the French League or the South American League with the sponsors all over the shirt. Anyway, let's compare this against some of the 90s versions, shall we? Hiding the badge there. So size-wise, these are going to be a bit different, as this was a shirt I had as a child. I'd have been very young. But looking at these two side by side, we've made the comparison early, and United have made that same comparison in an Instagram video. This is the last time they had stripes was this. Very much two different shirts though. Let's have a look at the pros and cons of both. I've mentioned in previous kit videos that I love 90s kits, as most people do, for that extra little bit of design, that extra little bit of uniqueness to each club, and that's very much the case here. As you can see, we've got detailing within the actual fabric itself. We've got the badge here. We've got all kinds of player names, even within the white, within the blue. The only thing that's letting this shirt down, which it might just be the fact that it's a child shirt and not an adult shirt, is the sponsor and the manufacturer. Oh, Umbro, is that printed or is that in the fabric? I don't like it when, they're in the fabric. It did mean back in the day that when they used to go in the washing machine, everyone's kits got ruined because their mum put them on too high a temperature and the sponsor would just peel off and stuff. But the uniqueness in terms of the actual shirt, detailing within the shirt, is far greater than we have here. Obviously this is very minimal and plain, but obviously again, we're like 30 years on. The times have changed. Football kits are very much like a fashion statement nowadays, and I know that's a controversial term to use because there's going to be a lot of people that dislike this new Man U away shirt. But for me, looking at these two side by side, obviously in 2023, I'd very much prefer to wear this one, but that's not to say I don't love this shirt as well. Let's spin them over and have a look at the backs. Hard to compare entirely because obviously I've got printing on the back of this. Went with Kino, but they've continued their unique design on the back, very much like the front. I like the yellowy gold printing. United actually unfortunately played last night as of making this video and lost 3-1 to Wrexham in this very shirt, so not a very good start. It was that loss to, was it Brentford last year, that put me off buying the third shirt, the green one, because of that 4-0 hammering. Was it Brentford? We lost 4-0 somewhere, didn't we? Brighton, Brentford. Yeah, Brentford I think it was. But quite plain on the back. Probably not as good as the front. I'm glad I went with long sleeves though. It's just lush and long sleeved. So in terms of rating, I'm actually going to give the new Man United away shirt a solid 9 out of 10. Controversial, I know, a lot of people will completely disagree, but a 9 out of 10 for the new shirt. For this, which is the 94 to 96 shirt, this was the away shirt in 94 to 95 and the third shirt in 95 to 96. But as you know, move my notes out of the way, we had the grey shirt which didn't go down too well. So this went from being the third kind of back to the away shirt in 95-96. I'm going to give this shirt a solid 8 out of 10. Let's move on. So talk of the devil, here we have a controversial design from the mid-90s, from 95-96, against what could be considered a controversial design. I say controversial, is that even the right word? It's a Marmite top of its era. So this was the 95 to 96 away shirt, and obviously Umbro had to reimburse people for buying this shirt because it didn't go down too well. Fergie blamed losses, especially to Southampton, on not being able to see, or the players not being able to see each other.
We're surprised when the team came out for the second half, Alec, you'd actually changed your shirts. What was the thinking behind that?
Straightforward, the players don't like the grey strip. But enough's enough, really, as far as I'm concerned.
The grey kit had been launched last summer, yet the team hadn't won a single Premiership game in it.
You think they should dump their grey kit?
No. Famously, yeah, against Southampton, and they came out in the second half with the blue and white stripes. At the time, didn't go down too well. This, at the time, hasn't gone down too well with some people. Some people, like myself, absolutely love it. I'm going with the fact that this grey one I didn't have as a kid. Probably one of the only United shirts from like 94 to like 2004 that I didn't have. So I'm taking that as a sign that this grey shirt wasn't well received at the time. I know my mate Todd had it. I had the blue and white one. For that reason, I think nostalgia plays a part as to why we love this shirt, which is why I bought it as an adult. So I'm going to rate the grey shirt a 6 out of 10. Probably it's one of those that grows on you over time, which I'm sure this will as well, because obviously this I've voted as 9 out of 10, this one's 6 out of 10, so obviously the new one beats the grey one. 2-0 for the new one so far. Let's move on. So if you're ever wondering whether to actually go to Classic Football Shirts and buy a real replica, old, vintage United top, or other clubs for that matter, versus a cheap eBay replica, rip-off version, here's the reason why you probably shouldn't, because this is a cheap foreign import. The sharp is almost coming off. Yeah, I think it is coming off actually. So this isn't an official one, but it's basically the same. And this has been very well received over the years. You probably can't see it on the camera, but you've got a Manchester United badge within the design, as well as a really 90s quirky design. I actually think this shirt is maybe a little bit overrated. Whether it's just because I've had a bad experience because of the fact that it's a cheap rip-off, I don't know. But if I'm comparing these two, it's going to be a 3-0 smashing. This shirt here is coming out on top. Again, 9 out of 10. As I looked at my notes, I voted this one a 7 out of 10. Because it is a good top. I'm not knocking it too much, but I think maybe a little bit overrated amongst some supporters. If you look at the designs, again, I say time designs of their era, but this isn't really a 23 style shirt, is it? It's obviously an early 20th century shirt, 1900s. So between these two, I'm going with this one. Let's have a little look at the backs just to be sure. Oosh, this is why I shouldn't. And again, this is why you shouldn't buy a cheap rip-off. The printing is knackered. Absolutely destroyed this shirt in the wash. I think I've only washed it once. We don't need to flip that over. Again, let me know in the comments below which is coming out on top. Do you prefer the 92, 93 first Premier League away shirt, or do you prefer the new shirt? Let me know in the comments on all these head-to-head away shirt contests, guys. Let me know which ones you think are coming out on top, and obviously what you think of the new shirt. So I'm absolutely gutted I don't have the black, is it 93 to 95 shirt, the famous Cantona Kung Fu Kick black shirt with a yellow writing. That's probably one of my favourite away shirts, and ironically I don't have it. I was at Classic Football Shirts in Manchester a few weeks back and I got the laces one, but I didn't go for the away one. Reason being, they're like 250 quid a shirt and I'm not that minted, so I'd rather blow my money on current stuff, which is ironic because this is a 90s YouTube channel. So that black shirt I absolutely love. I tried it on, I walked around the shop for about 10 minutes with it on, absolutely in love. And from that experience of wearing an authentic one from the time, from Classic Football Shirts, it was as close to beating this shirt as you're going to probably get, really. It looked badass, black shirts generally do. The fact that it's like early to mid 90s is probably the golden era of shirts. At the moment we're 3-0 up on the new shirt, and I know you lot are going to be going wild in the comments, but I'm actually going to put that tie in with this one. So the black shirt from 93 to 94 and 94 to 95, I'm going to give a solid 9 out of 10, exactly the same as the new away shirt. Speaking of black shirts, this is often a forgotten shirt and it's very similar to that one I just mentioned, but I can't compare these two because technically this black shirt right here is a third shirt from the 98 to 99 season, from the treble winning season. I did go for York at the time, as you can see right there, as well as some of the OG Premier League patches, but unfortunately this is a third shirt, so I'm gonna have to throw that over there. And also the 96-97 one, this one right here, this is the one that went with the button home shirt. Nice shirt, I like this detailing right here. Again, I don't like the sponsor and the Umbro within the shirt. That might be the fact that it's a kid's shirt, but I can't put this against that because this again technically is a bloody third shirt. The away shirt during that season, the 96 to 97 season, was this white shirt, and I know that you know what I'm going to say, the fact that it's quite plain. In a similar way to last season's away shirt, for me it just doesn't really do anything. I mean, it's just there, isn't it? Some people really like these plain shirts, these plain white designs, plain blue designs. For me, I'm not really a fan of those. Some of you will obviously rate those higher than I would, and vice versa. I mean, it's like comparing chalk and cheese, apples and oranges. I don't know if that's the right analogy, but two very, very different shirts side by side. So this 96 to 97 away shirt for me just doesn't cut it. For me, I'm going to give this probably the lowest rating we've had so far. I'm going to be quite harsh. I'm going to be a bit of a Simon Cowell and give this only a 4 out of 10. Not really a fan. Did I get printing? Yeah, I went with Beckham before he had that number 7. This is the last season Cantona would have been around, and then Beckham probably went to 7 the season after. Unfortunately, Beck's 4 out of 10, mate. Probably the first time Beckham's ever been rated 4 out of 10. Onto this for a moment. A little bit of close-up of the tags before I rip them off. Size as well for you guys. I'm going to be doing a try-on at the end. This is a large. So now onto another white away shirt. Now this one is really hard to rate because the design's good. Definitely good. It's definitely not a bad design. I like the shield. I like the detailing on the you know, the neckline, the collar and stuff. I love this detailing. I love the fact that you've got this printed. It's not within the actual shirt. And if you look very closely, I don't know if you can tell on the camera that there are Man United badges within the shirt itself as well. And you know I like that when it comes to shirts. But you know I'm going to rate this higher than probably what it should be, purely for the fact that it's from the 90... Well, it's from 97 to 98 and 98 to 99. But we wore this during the treble season, most famously when Giggsy scored that semi-final FA Cup replay goal versus Arsenal. Such a popular shirt because of those fond memories. But is it going to beat the new one? Come on guys, let me know in the comments below. For me it's not. It just falls a little bit shy. Obviously we've got 9 out of 10 on that. I'm going to give this a solid 8 out of 10. So does that kind of make the new away shirt one of the best shirts we've had over the years? I know we're comparing only against the 90s and not the noughties, but I know what you're thinking. There's one shirt, right, that I know from the 90s, one away shirt I know is going to beat this shirt. And as we've been probably controversial enough, as we've probably divided opinion enough, I know what you're thinking, the 90 to 92 one. We did a bit of a throwback a couple of years ago with that blue and white messy looking shirt with the red trim. You know what? I've not got it on me and there's a reason why. I actually think it's the most overrated United shirt of all time. And I know you lot are just going to stick the dislike now. I know you lot are going to hate me for saying that. But that 90 to 92 one reminds me a bit of Mark Hughes. I don't like. I don't hate it, but I just think the fact that everyone rates it so highly makes me dislike it more. So I'm going to give that blue and white one a 5 out of 10. I'm sorry. I'm putting this way above that one. And I know what some of you are thinking as well, but Roy, we're not over yet. There's definitely one more that's going to beat the new away shirt. And that is the one all United fans unanimously love, especially the Glazers art lot. And that is the green and yellow half and half shirt from the early 90s, from the, I think we had it from like the first Premier League season possibly. It is a loved shirt amongst United fans, but guys, I'm going to beat you on a technicality. The Newton Heath throwback, the yellow and green, was unfortunately a third shirt, so it doesn't beat this shirt because technically it was a bloody third shirt. So there we go guys, this along with the Kung Fu Kick black shirt for me are two of the best United away shirts we've had. So, time now to do a bit of a try on. Let's do this. Now look at that guys, this is the first time I've put this on. Probably shouldn't have gone with the bright yellow shorts, but this is definitely a thing of beauty. I'm 6 foot tall, I weigh 14.5 to 15 stone, depending on how much crap I've eaten. Let's just do a spin around and boom, strike the pose, look at that. Oosh. Nice little gap there for when I go up to United. Probably going to get a Champions League patch on there. Champions League printing. What we're thinking on the back. I went with Casemiro last year. Probably not going to go for Mason Mount. Maybe Rashi. There we go guys. Loving the fact this is long sleeve. Absolutely love this shirt. For me, it's already a holy grail. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Don't worry if you hate it. It's all perspective. Objectively looking at shirt design, we're never going to all agree, are we? Especially when they're a little bit out there like this one. But I very much think that some of the skepticism will be pushed aside as time progresses, and especially if United do well this season. If we absolutely stink, we crash and burn like we did in last season's green kit, I think this shirt will probably go down quite badly. That's again why I didn't buy last year's green kit. I know it's fickle, you know, shirt design shouldn't be based purely on results, but it is. You know, this is a 90s nostalgia YouTube channel. We hold memories fondly. We associate certain items, Corinthians, for example, we associate stuff to things. This is what we do. It's what blokes do, especially as they get older, middle-aged blokes. Not quite there, almost there. So there we go, guys. If you enjoyed the video, stick the thumbs up. And obviously, let me know what you think. Check out maybe a video in the future. Might do the third kit. That's coming up, the white one. You know what I'm going to say about that. Probably a little bit plain. But I very much enjoyed this video. See you next week. And subscribe for everything 90s nostalgia. We don't just do Man United stuff. We do all kinds of 90s throwbacks. What do we have right here? Les Ferdinand. Oosh. See you next week.